No pressure whatsoever. No,
None.
so domestic bliss here at the Clint household. Everything's going great. Except yesterday, I saw my wife. She was doing laundry, and she tripped. She had a basket of laundry. She tripped and dropped the basket of clean clothes, and I just watched it all unfold. That was all I could do.
Oh, that's really.
That's just good. We might as well not even have the call now. We can't talk.
No, it's done. We're done.
All
over.
drop.
Game over. We are live with the community, and this is the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform Development bi-weekly call. Today is April 24th. This is our last call of April, everybody, and boy, is it going to be an amazing one. Why is that? Well, let's take a look at the agenda. We've got the latest updates on the community. We've got things like our Copilot prompt of the week, PNP.NET libraries, PowerShell updates, script samples, Copilot camp, Power Platform samples. There's so much amazing stuff in store for us today. We're all so excited. And then we have our three amazing and incredible presenters of the day. David is here. He's going to talk about Copilot Studio Reservation Assistant. Also, first timer on the community call presenting. We're excited for that. Liz is going to be showing off her SharePoint hackathon entry, the Galactic Archivist with a SharePoint agent. Also her first time on the call, so we're going to give both of them a ton of love. And Reshmee, a pro, is back to talk about no more secrets. Shh, optimize your Power Platform deployment using federated credentials. So we're super, super excited for all that. But first, let's talk about some resources that are available to each and every one of you at the low, low cost of nothing. These are absolutely free resources contributed by the amazing people, all of you on the community call, and your passion. So we'll start with the Microsoft Community Learning YouTube channel. This is our YouTube channel for the community, and we are breaking all the rules in all the right ways. We are posting new content every single day, which the algorithms say, no, you shouldn't do that for max exposure, but we do it because we want to make sure that you've got the best of the best available to you each and every single day. We've also got our LinkedIn group for discussions. We've got open source tooling and tooling and tools. That's right, tooling and tools that are available to everybody. And we've got our sample galleries, things like team samples, SPFX samples, Power Platform samples, list formatting samples. The list goes on and on and on. Yes, that's right. I've got bad jokes. But we have so many cool things available to each and every single one of you in the community. And you only need to remember one URL. That is the aka.ms/community/home, or our fancy new top-level domain, community.ms, is available. So you can use that. Just crank it up into your address bar in your browser, and you will find our community landing page. Now you're on this call because you love community calls. Well, we love them too. We've got plenty more. Our weekly with Microsoft Speakers call is every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Pacific. And this is super cool because it comes from all those project managers and program managers that are building the amazing software that we use and love every single day. Now, this typically goes on break for July and August, but guess what? Not this year. We're having a community takeover. We're going to be showcasing all those amazing contributions that came in the Powerful Devs Hackathon and the SharePoint Hackathon during that 2-month period. So everybody from the community is going to get involved. We're excited for that. So no longer have to worry about skipping that on Tuesdays. It'll be here for you forever. And then we've got our monthly Power Platform and our Office add-ins, and of course our two sibling bi-weekly calls, the one you're on now, Microsoft 365 and Power Platform Community, and Viva Connections and SharePoint Framework. Those are every single Thursday. Speaking of that Tuesday call, coming up next Tuesday, we've got Aika here to talk about add authentication to your custom engine agents. Ajit is going to talk about enhancing enterprise workflows with Microsoft 365 Agent SDK and Copilot Studio. And then DC is going to be back talking about introducing page templates and news link support for Microsoft Graph APIs for SharePoint pages. So 3 full mouthfuls, but lots of cool stuff. So make sure you tune in. And if you're watching today and you're thinking, well, I would really love to present on this call because it seems like it's an open and inclusive community, you'd be right, because we do want you to present and we don't want you to overthink it. Don't think that, hey, I built this thing or I have this function or I have this snippet or I have this cool utility, but no one else will find value in it. Nope, we promise everyone will find value in it. So if you've never presented, just fill in the form, let us know. We've got a lot of demand. We'll get you scheduled in, and we'll even support you in terms of buddying up with you. If you need it, just let us know. We're happy to help you craft the presentation and give the presentation even. We want you to share your passion. So please don't hesitate. Definitely go to this URL and fill out that form. And if you need support in other ways, so we've got things like our community samples, and we've got ways in which you can absolutely contribute those samples, because those have only happened by way of all of you, everybody. Well, we've got a May 12th community sharing is caring session coming up. That is the gateway to a contribution. So if you've never used GitHub, that hub of Gits, that Git of hubs, that confusing labyrinth that uses terms like pull request and fork and commit, and you think, what does all that mean? Well, we'll diagnose it in that call. The call is live, it's hands-on, meaning that you will actually submit a contribution to GitHub on that call. And it's not recorded, which means it's absolutely safe space to ask any and all questions that sometimes we're always a little scared to ask when that record button is on. So come join it, get that form filled out. We'll be setting that up today. Just need to activate the AKA and you will be good to go. Again, great opportunity to collaborate and meet others in the community. And then once you do contribute, we want to recognize you for all the amazing work that you're doing. We just re-upped our relationship with Credly, so we're coming back for another strong year with all these amazing badges like Prompt Pro, Snippet Sorcerer, those event badges that everybody's been showing off. We've, of course, got Repo Rescuer and Modern Search, even more coming. And, of course, we love our new Star Wars, right? We've got The Fork Awakens, May the Open Source be with you, and Rise of the Contributor to celebrate the months surrounding May, and May the 4th be with you. So a lot of cool ways to get involved. These are fun, but they are real and accredited, which means they absolutely show that you're making a difference in the community. So don't hesitate to get involved. Do need you to opt in, aka.ms/community/recognition, and we'll track all the amazing work that you're doing. Speaking of badges, we've got more with Copilot Dev Camp. So we've got these Copilot badges that are available to everybody in the community for following through on the different pathways. All you got to do is check the little box. You get to the end of the path, and you can claim your badge. Do need you to fill all that in. I just want to say thank you to all of our recent recipients of all these amazing ways in which you can get involved. Now, there are limited, only 100 seats left, right? We don't have unlimited on these particular badges, so please do go get involved, go through those paths, and make sure that you claim your badge. Okay, let's get moved over to our project-specific updates, and we're going to start with Copilot prompt libraries. Again, we've all started becoming those prompt engineers, knowing how to talk to Copilot and talk to AI and all that good stuff. And we've all gleaned and gained and built amazing ways to do that. Well, let's share it, everybody. You can do that through here on the Copilot prompt library, and you could be our prompt of the week. So Mikkel is here. He's creating a multi-language quiz in Microsoft Forms. Won't read the full prompt there, though, but you can use it. You can see how it's being used to create that form, which is really great, because sometimes you're like, I want to ask somebody something. I'm not sure what to ask them. Well, guess what? Copilot can help you. So, Mikkel, thank you very, very much. You can check that out at ak.ms/pnp prompt library. Okay, let's move over to a couple of new items that are super exciting with BERT around core and SDK.
Yes, thank you, David. So we have some good news for the .NET developers under us. So we released a new version from PNP Core SDK, version 1.15. Key differences of key new things there is support for .NET 9. We dropped the old 6 and 7, which were anyhow not supported anymore. Rate limiting is on by default. So we try to avoid getting throttled with those libraries. Also applies to PNP Framework as well. And then let's say the majority of updates and improvements were around the page API that we have in that library. Let's move to the next slide, David. So we also have PNP Framework. They go hand in hand, core and framework. So framework also got a release, version 1.18 there. Again, same thing as with core, .9 support, rate limiting on by default. And a set of various smaller improvements and fixes in the provisioning engine and the existing extension methods. So let's move on. That then brings us to kind of a quick overview of the overall PNP.NET libraries. Where are we today? I think mentioned the releases. That's really cool. They're out. On the framework side, Koen did work to improve the Azure ACS auth error handling. Now, you shouldn't use Azure ACS anymore, but at least if there's an error, we get a better insight on what goes wrong. On the Core SDK side, Stefan Steiger does a work to avoid adding unneeded paragraph tags in the HTML when you do edits, updates on a page, which kind of led to white space. So that's really nice. Koen fixed an issue in the batch client. And we did some work on the ACS principal detection. So that's kind of something to know. Like if you create still an Azure ACS principal if you did that after December last year, we actually just create like an Entra application for it. It'll be nothing special anymore. And that kind of change was added into the detection logic for ACS principles. And then the last thing before I move to PowerShell is that usage is skyrocketing. So you see it on the bottom right chart that the usage for Course Decay also really is growing up. So it's about 10 billion requests for Course Decay in 1 month, and then 58 for Framework for 130,000 tenants. So that's not bad. With that, let's move to Gautam, because I think he also has exciting news for PnP PowerShell. Thank you all, folks.
Awesome. Thank you, Brad. That is a million. I mean, amazing. A million amazings to just say a billion requests. That's awesome. So awesome. All right. Got him. You're up.
Thanks, David. Thanks, Bert. So yeah, we have some news around PnP PowerShell. So we released 3.1.0. Do check it out. Is an insanely massive release. Contains quite a lot of new features, fixes, security updates, and lots of good stuff here. There is a side note here that it won't work in Azure Automation right now because of some issues related to .NET. So it's something you need to keep in mind. Besides that, we in this new release we got an insanely fast authentication mechanism in place. So do check it out and let us know how you find that. We have also been a bit busy with some minor bug fixes around Connect PnP Online and set PnP view commands. What else? I'll post the migration docs as well as the blog around this whole release in the chat. Do check it out. Besides that, if you run into any issues, do let us know. This is a breaking change, so I would advise you all to just look into the migration docs before blindly updating the PowerShell to the newest version as well. So yeah, that's pretty much from my end. Over to you, David. Thanks.
Awesome stuff. Thank you, got him. All right, let's go into script samples with the one and only Mr. Paul Bullock.
Thank you, David. So script samples is a place where you can share your PowerShell scripts. So for example, if you create them with PnP PowerShell or Microsoft Graph, SPO Management Shell, CLI, you name it, you can share it here with the community, and then the community can enjoy the power and the awesomeness that your script brings to everyone. So we have a new sample from Reshmee Auckloo, one of our presenters later on today, actually. So thank you, Reshmee, for that. So retrieving effective permissions from end users across sites. Thank you very, very much for that contribution. And if you'd like to contribute as well, please check out the repo and submit a pull request. I have been doing quite a few updates to the contributor guidance and doing some maintenance work on the site as well. So I hope to make it and improve upon it. If you've got any asks in that space, by all means, navigate to the repo, stick an issue in the list if you've got an idea or something you think's missing, and I'll have a look at it and potentially incorporate it. Which would be good. So I value that feedback. But yeah, thank you very much for the scripts. And thank you very much. And back to you, David.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul. And last but not least, Power Platform samples, snippets, and prompts with Kate.
Yes, hello everybody. Thank you very much, David. So today we have lots of great solutions in the Power Platform sample solutions, sample snippet and prompt galleries. And I'm excited to see that they cover a wide range of Power Platform technologies. So thank you very much for all our contributors, April, Steve, Brian, Melissa, Marcos. Thank you very much for sharing your work, and I encourage everybody to try these solutions, snippets, and prompts. And moreover, I encourage everybody to become a contributor. Why not? So if you create something cool and would like to share, just follow the link that you can see on the slide and dive deeper and explore the contribution guide and submit your pull request. If you have any questions, do not hesitate and reach out to me directly, and I will get you covered and support you to prepare the submission-ready pull request. Thank you very much, and back to you, David.
Awesome. Thank you, Kate. You could say there's so many powerful samples there, right? I'm just horsing around, everybody. Horsing around. All right. What time is it? It is picture time. So get those fantastic faces ready. You can open up and turn on your camera. I will move this on over. I see already some folks are getting geared, getting those hands ready. Todd. All right, where did my cursor go? There we go. Okay, let's move this over. We are doing good on time. We're just about 30 seconds to a minute early, everybody. So still plenty of time. I see Kate's teaching them young. Excellent. Getting them involved early. We'll love it. All right, Vesa. Oh, look, I'm sitting next to Vesa, and we're a world away. Like he always says, technology. All right, just a couple seconds more, everybody. If you want to get those cameras turned on. I see Don. I see David. Excellent. Liz is there. Annie, Reshmee. Excellent. Okay. Let's give it a try. We'll count it down. 3, 2, 1. All right, show everybody how amazing you are. Again, thank you all for doing what you do each and every single day in the community. Would not have these opportunities without you. So we are so appreciative. Love everything you're doing. Thank you so much. All right. Excellent. Good stuff. Okay. Well, let's get this show back on the road, and we will start with the first of our 3 amazing presenters today. David is going to talk about Copilot Studio Hotel Reservation. I got to say, I do love your name, by the way. But whenever you're ready, feel free to take on over the screen. Again, it's David's first time on the community call presenting, so let's show him all that community support that we know we can.
Okay, thank you, David. I love your name also. Yeah. So I will be doing this a little bit faster because I usually do like this in 50 minutes. But okay, we will do a little bit shorter today. I am David Lorenzo. I work as a Power Platform lead and architect in Prodware in Spain. Also, I am MVP on Power Apps since this past August. So I have luckily to having in Seattle this year. I want just to present our Spanish community warranting a TED, just in case you want to learn content in Spanish. Also, we do a lot of events there. And there you have also my LinkedIn contact, just in case you want to get in touch. Okay, so today we are presenting a hotel reservation assistant. I have built this demo since about November, adding new features. So this is the current schema of the solution. It is all orchestrated with Copilot Studio. We get on the top side, we have the 4 operations to get hotel reservation done. So you have to get the available zones on the system. You have to get the hotel availability in one of the zones. You then select a hotel, find the hotel offer, the prices, the meals, and then select the room that you want to book, and then confirm the reservation. So that all with an interface of Power Automate flows and goes into the hotel PMS, in this case Dataverse. But as you know, the hotel PMS, property management system, can be any interface, any system outside Power Platform, and then you have the interface in Power Automate to just get connected to the outside system. Then, as a hotel reservation assistant, one of the things you want to know is maybe find things and activities to do nearby the hotel in the zone that you are going on vacation. So you can connect in this way some websites. I focus on my region in Canary Island. We have 2 great islands to get on vacation, Tenerife and Gran Canaria. And then I get the official websites from the government of Tenerife and Gran Canaria, and then connect one of them through a knowledge source directly using the website connector. And then another one, we do like a web scraping agent. I would like to present this in detail in another community call because it deserves a 15 minutes slot to present this well. But in summary, we get go with an agent in Python. We go to the website, scrap the content, and then improves that with Azure OpenAI, and then index in Azure AI Search. So we have a knowledge source connected from the Copilot Studio to Azure AI Search that I will show you in a moment. And then in last but not least, we have get the weather information with the MSN Weather API. And then we have 2 custom connectors that connect to Google Places and Google Geocoding APIs to get nearby restaurants on the hotel surrounding area. Okay, so that's just for the next community call. I would like to present this in detail. This is the indexing process for the web scraping agent. And then I have another gem for a third community call that I want to present this agent also integrated in a custom website connected through direct line API. And then we can do a speech-to-text and text-to-speech thing using JavaScript SDK. But that is for the future. So we go directly to the demo. And then we have here a Copilot Hotel Reservation Assistant. Okay, as I mentioned before, we have some knowledge source. Here we connect to public websites about Gran Canaria, and then we have also a Azure AI search connection through a index. Okay, this index is connected or is filled up with another agent. Okay, the web scraping agent that I promised to show you. But in this case, we are augmenting the content that we scrap from the website using Azure OpenAI, so we get a more powerful and more detailed description about the activities, and then we index that, we vectorize, and then we connect this knowledge source so we can get the information here. Just to give you an overview, here are the zones available in the system. We have a model-driven app that shows we will working with Tenerife. We have some hotels in Tenerife here, and then we have some hotel prices too. And then we have, of course, the meals and the prices and so on. And then we end up by receiving the hotel reservation. So let's try. And then we want to tell the system, I want to go holidays. Just to mention, are you using the preview of Copilot Studio? They have changed recently the orchestration engine. So I see some changes. So this loader is new, and then I see some changes on the system. So I want to show you. Okay, this is blocked. All right, now. So we get here what zones are available to reserve a hotel. Let's see. All right. So the first flow is going away, and then we get. So these things are new. I don't know what this means. This is from the new orchestration engine, but okay, we get back the zones that we have in the system: La Palma, Vancouver, Tenerife, and Gran Canaria. That you can see it match the zones that we have in the Dataverse table. So now I continue to the next phase, and then I tell that I want to go to Tenerife. And then it should launch the next flow that is going to the hotels table and filter out by the Tenerife hotels. And then we intercept back the response, and we use the adaptive cars to show up. So I recommend you take a look at this adaptivecars.ai.io, and then you go to Designer, and you can really have a look at the new card templates that you have here. I just follow with one of these templates, doing some modifications, and you can get beautiful response like this in your Copilot. So let's go forward, and then let's do a reservation for the Hotel Alabama. I just, by the way, recommend you to visit Tenerife, and this is one of the best hotels in the island. Just here, I have selected the hotel. I have selected the destination, so I need a check-in, check-out date, please, and then a PAX number to go to. Again, with adaptive cards, we can select check-in date, check-out date, and then PAX number, and then we go to full. Let's take a full board. Yeah, so this is again receiving the response on the flow, and then I intercept with the JSON back, and then plug into an adaptive card. Okay, so let's complete the reservation, and then we get the last form. We autofill the user logged in with the logged in user information, and then just put in here my phone number, and then confirm the booking. So this is the last reservation step. We get the localizer, and then we can try to find them here in the hotel reservations. There you go, and then we have all the information about the reservation that we just done. Okay, with the localizer, check-in, check-out date. We have the hotel information here. Just take a look, so beautiful. And then, okay, we have done the reservation. Now I would like to know about the restaurants nearby. So can you show me nearby restaurants on a 5-kilometer radius? Then this, if it works, it should go to the, here it should go to and take the dynamic chaining process, because we have 2 connectors to the Google Places API. All right, this is connect was filters. Okay, there's a connection content filter thing here. Let's put 4. Okay, so here it works like getting the Hotel Alabama. As you can see here, and then get the coordinates, and then call to the search nearby restaurants on these coordinates and get the response back. So let's try to Hotel Alabama, Tenerife. Yeah, so let's do a clean process here. Can you find nearby restaurants to Hotel Alabama, Tenerife? Radius 3. Okay, it's doing a content filter. I don't know why. So this one of the things that have changed. Then let's take a look here. In the settings, generative AI, high, okay, low. Let's do that. I think this have been changed in these days. That's one of the preview things that I worry about it. So can you find nearby restaurants to Hotel Alabama, Tenerife in a 5-kilometer radius? Okay. All right, so it doesn't want to go, but this should show up a list of restaurants and then the link to the Google Maps. Let's try to find what activities can I do nearby, and then this should call to the Azure AI search. All right, so it gets okay. All right, so this is calling the Azure AI search index, and then is getting the information back. And then if you click here, you go to the Web Tenerife information. Okay, that is taking the context also from the conversation. All right, and then I just want to show you the last feature on what is the weather. Okay, this in this case is taking also the context of the conversation and taking the weather from Tenerife using the forecast for today, the MSN Weather API, and then it's giving you the weather. I have to check for the next time why is this content filter is happening just today. So this should be connecting here, is connecting to the Google Places API, and then getting back the coordinates and then passing the coordinates through the next call. And then here it should be getting the information, but I think they added some content filter thing in the way, and then I have to check what the response is in order to fix that. But okay, we can back over to here. So we have seen so far these features. We have done a get zone search hotel availability and hotel offer and confirm the reservation. We have found some activities to do in the knowledge source. Okay, we have used Web Tenerife, which is Azure AI Search Indexed, and then we have getting the weather of Tenerife just to get the sunny days here in the island. Then I will back to you, David. Just thank you. Just you can try Copilot Studio here, ik.ms/try Copilot Studio, just in case you are free to do. And then thank you for your time. Hope to be you in the next call.
David, awesome stuff. Yeah, thank you. A rapid overview of all that, but it's very useful. Yeah. And again, it's great to have you back. We'll have you back to cover all those other things. We'll call it the little mini series. So it's going to be awesome. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Liz, if you'd like to start taking over, thank you. If you'd like to start taking over the screen, Liz, the screen share, feel free. Liz is here to share SharePoint Hackathon, her entry, the Galactic Archivist SharePoint agent. So super excited for this. Feel free. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, David, and hello, everyone. I'm really excited to be here. This is my first time presenting. So I wanted to walk you through my SharePoint Hackathon entry. So my name is Liz Moore, and I am a SharePoint consultant at SoftwareOne. I work out of North America in our digital workplace group. I work with a lot of customers, migrating SharePoint content, modernizing SharePoint, and solving SharePoint problems with modern solutions. So I'm super excited to kind of walk through my thoughts around SharePoint agents and the approach I took on my entry. So one of the areas where I see a lot of issues are with document libraries and structures. I know, SharePoint has fantastic capabilities with metadata, and I want to make everyone aware of what's available. So that's my ultimate goal in anything I do with SharePoint, is trying to attach metadata to just about everything possible. We see a lot of folder usage in SharePoint, and a lot of content gets buried in folders, and I am often trying to help users, find their content. So this was a way to help explore options for content discovery that were available, without any code or low code options, maybe, for the average user, so that they can use the features of SharePoint that they're comfortable with in building a solution to help surface information for their group, for their organization. My approach to this, so that it didn't feel like work, was to try to make it fun and give it a sci-fi theme, and just, have a little fun with it overall, so that it wasn't just another task on my to-do list. So, again, my focus here was on simple no-code solutions. We see a lot of folks, that have limited resources, or maybe there are other engagements going on where there's not time to work on kind of cleaning up a SharePoint library. So, we know that SharePoint libraries can grow rapidly, and users often get stuck digging through content, folder after folder. And even with search, it can be hard to surface relevant content or know what is, the most recent content. So that's where, metadata can come into play, but we need to make sure that our metadata is consistent and used across the board. So the idea here is the agent will tackle that problem with a more intuitive, structured approach to help guide users through their content without needing them to know the exact file name or location. So, and because it is no code, it's accessible to anyone with a little bit of knowledge. So I created the agent directly in SharePoint using the created agent experience, no Copilot Studio required. And I connected it to my Cosmic repository. And that includes a document library and my site pages. And these site pages are playing a huge role. So they're a lightweight way to help introduce metadata without completely reorganizing everything. So my thoughts around this were, a lot of times I am asked to help restructure a SharePoint library, and maybe it's a multi-step process. So my thoughts were that, we could introduce metadata to the documents and pages and use the agent as kind of a transitional way to modernize and flatten our document libraries. And again, we're all used to working with folders, and it's just natural, and I see a lot of business processes built around folders. So I'm not looking to completely eliminate the folder experience, but want to make it content more accessible. So the pages are that entry point for most users. So that's really where I see a lot of work being done. Folks use pages in many aspects of SharePoint and Teams. So that was an accessible way to get folks involved in helping surface information. And then the real magic is in the prompts. So I'll show you here shortly in a demo, but each one of the prompts was designed to reflect a different use case. So requesting project summaries, finding tactical documents, or pulling up overviews. So I'm trying to think of natural language ways to put specific and intentional language to help utilize the metadata that I have behind the scenes to do that heavy lifting. So the agent can search across the entire library using the metadata, and it's responding to that conversational tone, and it helps to maintain that consistent voice throughout. So that creates trust and makes it a more polished experience. So, and my thoughts were as well, I want to expand it in the future. We can enhance it with Copilot Studio, but I was looking for kind of an entry-level way into agents and getting that exposure and making folks more trusting of it. So I just want to, before I hop into my little demo, I just want to make an important note here. Metadata quality is everything, especially with my entry here. So when it's applied consistently, the agent can be really effective. And it's also a great reason to help folks move away from messy folders towards something that's more manageable. So good naming conventions and structure can help surface information quickly. So if you haven't looked into SharePoint agents, I think, this is a good time. They're easy to deploy. They're fun to build, and, they can be a helpful bridge between users and content, especially in complex environments. So, in my little bit, giving it a little personality, a little bit of fun flair can help it be something that folks enjoy using rather than just kind of a everyday task. So with that, I want to pop into our Galactic Archivist. So you'll see here my homepage. We're spotlighting our employee of the month, our senior data custodian. So just, again, trying to put some additional information out there and populate pages with content. But the real, heart of this is the metadata. So if I take a look into my library here, my Data Horizon library, I simulated a standard folder structure. Now I don't have, complex nested folders going on here, but gives you an idea of what we might see in your average document library. So I've gone ahead and I've added some metadata specific to the files. We have document types, strategic importance, and then I've given a rank to my files. So these are legendary and common, and then also related topics. So the related topics metadata plays a part in my site pages, which we'll pop over and take a look at here in just a moment. But again, the idea here was that rather than restructuring a folder with heavy folder usage, rather than restructuring a library with heavy folder usage, we can simply apply some metadata to those files and folders, and then with the help of the SharePoint pages, use the agent to surface that information. So if we take a look at one of our sample pages here, I just have some basic web parts, document library, with a view for our war logs, and then some additional data on key battle reports. And this is pulling content from different places. And this is helping the agent to know what to surface and pull that information up. So if we take a look over here at the agent, I want to go into our behavior. So I've been very verbose in my instructions to my agent, but also intentional. So my starter prompts go from very broad requests. As you'll see here, I'm asking it to pull all the intelligence, including reports and documents. And then I wanted to include pages and files. So this will pull up, a considerable amount of information. My second prompt refines that a little further. So I'm asking it only to provide me with hub pages. So it will surface here in a moment, those SharePoint site pages with those summaries that we had just taken a look at here. And then I have my references to my SharePoint pages. Again, just an easy way to help refine that search process. And then my last starter prompt is looking for specific files. So, and I'm asking it to limit it to 5 documents. So again, being intentional about my prompts and what I'm asking it to do. And then it will pull up these documents with a recent verified date, limiting it to 5 files. So you'll see here we go right into our files. And then the last part here was my instructions for the agent. Again, was rather verbose and specific, which is all very important. So, I think where it can be helpful is especially in those cases where we have a library where maybe we have a handful of users that have a lot of institutional knowledge or insight into the files and folders. This is a place where, their input would be very valuable in helping to craft those starter prompts and the instructions, making it available to users to be able to quickly access information, surface it, and if it's a library where they're not overly familiar with the content. So that is all that I had with respect to my entry. I thank you all for coming along on this little journey with the Galactic Archivist. I hope you found it useful.
Super, super amazing. I really, really love it. Reshmee, feel free to start sharing your screen here as we set you up. But Liz, really love the entry. Thank you so much for contributing to the hackathon. I was thinking as you're showing this cosmic SharePoint agent is out of this world. See, go to that, everybody. Cosmic, out of this world. You really rocked it, Liz. Really great job. I really love the creativity and all that because it should be fun. That's what's going to engage people as well, right? Business and fun can live together. So great, amazing job. And again, everybody, her first time on the community call, her and David, excellent, knocking it out of the park. Okay, Reshmee is here. She's going to talk about no more secrets. Optimize your Power Platform deployment using federated credentials. Reshmee, take it away.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, really impressive presentations, both David and Liz. Congratulations for your first presentation. Hopefully to see you soon on the call. So now up to me. So I'm very excited to present to you a feature which is still in preview, but hopefully will become general availability soon so that you can start using which is, the feature is called federated credentials to eliminate the need for any more secrets to streamline your Power Platform deployment. So a little bit about me. Come on. Having issues with my... Okay, it's working. Sorry. So me, I'm Reshmee Auckloo, currently working as consultant at Avanade and MVP in M365 development. So these are my social handles if you want to reach out creating to any queries about today's presentation or any things but keep posting on social media. Feel free to reach out. Thank you. And to connect as well. So I'll just go for a brief overview of the CI/CD for Power Platform using Azure DevOps, and a description of what the federated credentials is, and followed by a demo of how it is. So CI/CD, it's a subset of ALM, which is Application Lifecycle Management, which will allow you to deploy your Power Platform solution in a reliable, scalable, and efficient way with automation, with minimum manual intervention. So in that instance, one of the kind of recommendation is really to have all your Power Platform artifacts within solutions in managed environments. Artifacts, I'm referring to anything like Power Apps Form, Power Automate, it could be Copilot Studio Agent as well. And it's more like when I was exploring Copilot Studio Agent, that's why I came across the federated credentials, because each time you create a Copilot Studio Agent, it creates a corresponding app registration with federated credentials. And then I thought like, that's quite, yeah. And then I thought like, let me explore it, how I can, because that's something I always wanted, like to try to eliminate the use of secrets based on my own experience of dealing with it. So the CI/CD, normally it's back using app registration configured with client secrets, and being a developer who doesn't always have access to the Azure portal to create or update the app registration, or even as project administrator to create the service connection within Azure DevOps, you're kind of exposed to a kind of a black box, and anything, whenever you try like to deploy, it doesn't work after 6 months or 1 year, and because the client secret has expired, and then you need to rely on multiple stakeholders to kind of rotate, regenerate, configure the client secret, and you're just hoping that it will be done in the correct way to prevent any delays or within your deployment. And the thing that you have to think about is, especially you have multiple stakeholders, have to store these client secrets safely, store and share it. You might, it can add some burden to use as something like a password manager or key vault. And then if you don't store it properly, you have the risk of credential leaks. It can be quite dangerous if someone gets hold of your client secret, client ID, tenant ID. They can act on behalf of that app registration or service principal to access resources in your tenant without you being aware of, which is something we won't like to prevent. So, I mean, one thing I would say, like the alternative is use federated credentials for the Power Platform deployment, but then in case because client secrets is quite simple to set up, and depending on the resources that you are using, you might still require the client secrets. It's not going to solve everything, but at least it's going like to improve the process a little bit. So federated credentials, the essence of it is to allow different type of services to communicate with each other by establishing a trust relationship. So in that instance, we have the pipelines within the Azure DevOps trying like to connect to Power Platform, leveraging the Entra ID, which for to get like all the token. So how it works, so I have the pipeline, which is the workload. It's going to request a token from Azure DevOps, because Azure DevOps can issue the token itself. It sends the token, and the pipeline, it sends the token to the Entra ID, and the Entra ID verifies like the token using the OpenID Connect before issuing the access token to the pipeline to for the pipeline to access resources within the Power Platform, either to export the solution into the source repository or to import back the solution in different environment from the source repository. I try to put it in a picture, but using the links that's there on the slide. Please do go ahead and read a little bit more about it. I'm not an expert. It's just something quite new I came across recently, and I just tried to document as much as I could as the way I understand it. Next, so the advantages is improve security. It will reduce the administrative burden where you don't have to deal with secret explorations, and it will streamline your deployment processes for your Power Platform solution. Now I'll just go what does actually mean in principle. So here I've created 3 different registration targeting different Power Platform environment, dev, prod, and test. You might have more environments depending on your scenario, but I'm on a dev tenant, and I could only create 3 manage environments. So that's why I have only 3. If I go into the configuration of one of them, all 3 of them has been configured quite in a similar way. I'll just go through one of them to show you how it's been configured. So if I go to the certificate and secrets, what's interesting, you'll find there's no certificates or client secrets configured. I have only 1 federated credentials. And if I go to how I've configured it, so for federated credentials scenario, I've used overissuer because it's targeting Azure DevOps. But if you have GitHub Actions, potentially you could use GitHub Actions. I didn't try it, but I think it will work kind of similar way. The only thing is for the issuer and the value, it follows a particular format, so you might need to work it out what it needs to be. For the Azure DevOps, the URL, the first bit of the URL for the issuer is the Azure DevOps, and this is the organization ID. So within Azure DevOps, you can create different organizations. So I have one organization, this is the organization ID. And for the identifier, which is kind of a token which Azure DevOps is going to issue to the pipeline, is made up of the organization name, the project name, and the service connection. I need to specify the audience. The audience is the Entra ID, but here it's written Azure AD Token Exchange. Just remember, Azure AD is the old name for Entra ID. I don't think that's going to get changed. And once that's done, I'm just going to show you something else. One other thing I was mentioning, I noticed this particular federated credentials when I was playing with Copilot Studio. So whenever you create a Copilot Studio agent, it creates an app registration in the background, and then it creates a federated credentials. I tried to look into it, but I don't know exactly what all the elements means in terms of the different values, and I didn't find anything to explain what actually each element of those mean. But I'll be good to learn. Okay, so once you have the app registration, you have all service principal. The other thing, what you'll do, you go to the corresponding Power Platform environment and you assign the service principal a role within the Power Platform environment. In that instance, I'm just adding it as system administrator. That means we'll be able to do everything, to deploy and to export solution. And the next thing I need to do is I need to create the service connection. So here in Azure DevOps, I don't know whether in GitHub Actions, whether we'll see the same behavior, but that will be something I need to try it out. So I'm in Azure DevOps in my project. service connection, and I have a few service connections being created for the dev, test, and prod. And this is a configuration for my service connection authentication method. I'm using the workload identity federation. Normally, if you're using client secret, we'll use the application ID and client secret. And I'm just specifying the Power Platform environment URL. This is the service principal ID, client ID, the tenant ID, and yeah, just the name. And I don't have any secret in here. And the next thing I need to do is within the pipeline. So I have 2 pipelines configured, one for the CI, continuous integration, which is going to export the Power Platform solution from the dev environment and import it, commit it to the source control repository, and I have like this the release pipeline, which is going to deploy the Power Platform solution to different environment test and prod. Ideally, because in that particular scenario, I'm using what we call like the modern pipeline or YAML, I could have both in the same. I didn't need to have a differentiation between the CI and CD, but it's just for simplicity, I just kind of have it separate. It might take a while, like to actually finish, but I won't just run it. But I'm just gonna show you like a snippet of that particular YAML. So what I'm doing is actually referring to template file with all the different actions, and here I'm just calling the template, and it's passing different parameters, and one of them is the service connection to deploy to the test environment, and another stage to deploy to the production environment, and passing a different service connection. So I'll just go through one which has already been run before, just to show how it is. So I've got 2 particular stages, deploy to test and one deploy to prod, and both has kind of similar set of action. One which is getting the source artifacts from the repository, installing the Power Platform tool installer, and then importing the solution within the environment, Power Platform environment, which is a test, and the prod. And if you look at the authentication type, it's using the workload identity federation. For me personally, it's a feature which if it was available even a year before, would have helped me saved a lot of time each time I have to deploy a Power Platform solution. So conclusion, yeah, it's using the feature will streamline and make your deployment process more secure. And the next steps, we have a few new tools and features within the Power Platform, which myself I need to try out, but have not really tried out. One is the ALM accelerator, the native Git integration of Power Platform solution to repository directly. That would remove the need to have like a CI, this pipeline, continuous integration pipeline, but that's something I need to try. And for the automated testing, it's always kind of good to have automated testing within your ALM. That's all from me. Thank you very much for your attention.
Reshmee, super awesome, very thorough and very, very powerful. So thank you so much for sharing that with the community. And a huge round of applause to all of our presenters today, David, Liz, and Reshmee. You're really sharing your passion and inspiring all of us to do more with the technology, learn, and thank you for everything that you are doing. Just excellent job. All right, everybody. Well, let's wrap this call up. Just as a reminder, we have our Discord server available to each and every one of you. If you would like to collaborate with other members of the community, this is kind of like a one-stop shop of all things community. Lots of different channels in there available across the different community spectrum of topics. So check that out. It's absolutely free, and you can wow your kids that you're in Discord. We'd love to get some feedback from you. Are the calls working? Are they? Can they be improved in some way? Let us know what you think, even if you've already let us know. Love to hear it again. If it's positive and or constructive, just ask that you keep it positive around any of your suggestions and all that good stuff. We also want to remind you that the recording will be available in 24 hours or less on the Microsoft Community Learning YouTube channel. Teams might tell you it's available for download, but don't believe it. It's a pretty little liar. The best way for you to get access to all of our community calls and all of our community videos is going and subscribing at ak.ms/community/YouTube to our channel. We will alert you as soon as it drops, and you will be jumping with joy. You can also follow us on Twitter, X, Blue Sky, LinkedIn, Smoke Signals, Pigeon Carriers, all of that jazz. We will absolutely share on all those platforms as well. The next Microsoft 365 and Power Platform bi-weekly call 2 weeks from today, May 8th. In fact, we'll be hosting that live from Vegas at the M365 conference. We will likely be in our hotel rooms, but we'll still be live together, and everybody is welcome. So it'll be awesome. And of course, the next Viva Connection SharePoint Framework will be next week, May 1st. You can get access to all of the calls at ak.ms/community/calls. Thank you all again for being the amazing contributors you are to our community. Would not be possible to have the amazing support without each and every one of you. So please keep it up. We thank you and appreciate you and love you for all that you're doing. Have a wonderful rest of your week, a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks, everybody.